Hey everyone, welcome back to Wright, Ace Attorney, and we are continuing on with the Justice for All game of the trilogy, and we are doing Episode 2, Reunion and Turnabout, Part 2-1, Trial. So, last time, a little bit of description of what happened. Maya, she let a spirit control her body for a little bit so it could communicate. And it ended up killing someone. So, now it looks like Maya killed someone. Which, I'm sure it wasn't actually her. It was probably the ghost. But, now we are on the trial portion here. So, let's go ahead and continue on. Okay, June 21st, 9:48 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 3. What? Prosecutor Von Karma? Oh, yeah. So, this is not the same Von Karma that we know. From the last game, Von Karma, we learned that he forged evidence and was trying to make Edgeworth look bad. But this is a different Karma, a relation to Karma. I heard it's his successor this time, yes. Manfred Von Karma was a real sinister man. He pulled all sorts of nasty tricks, also he could win, yes. That's exactly what he did. Oh, he was a man obsessed with the word perfection. As much as Karma is a bad guy, I actually did like his character. He had a perfect record for 40 long years. Oh, and that grin! That grin of his. Who knows what sort of dirty tricks he used to get each of those guilty verdicts. And now his successor, I wonder what kind of person they will turn out to be. Hopefully they're actually a good person. It's no good. Mystic Maya! What? Oh yeah, Pearly! Pearly. You showed up. Thanks for coming all this way. I was really worried about you. Where's your mother? Didn't you two come together? Mother's watching over the trainees. She said they have trained for 2 days straight with no breaks. Then, you came all by yourself? Yep, I snuck out of the manor and followed a map. How? How? A young child like you. Don't tell me you walked all the way here? Of course not. I ran. She didn't walk, she ran. Come on. I can't, oh my. It takes 2 hours by train. Oh man. Pearly, what about the train? Huh? What train? Oh yeah! She's never left the village, so she probably doesn't know about a train. I give up. It's time, isn't it? Yes, it's time. I'm really scared. What if Von Karma tries to do something to me? At least I know Mr. Edgeworth would be nicer to me than Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth? Who's that? Oh my gosh, he's so cute. He's Nick's rival. He's also a friend. Objection! I still remember him as though I'd seen him only yesterday. Every trial was scorchingly fierce battle until the very end. Objection! It was always back and forth with them. But when you're rivals for life... Maya, please don't mention that name ever again. What? Phoenix. Huh? But why Nick? I'm sorry, Maya. I forgot to... You don't know. He's gone. And he's not coming back. What? Edward's gone? He's not dead, right? He's definitely just, like, not a prosecutor anymore, right? What? Wait a second. What's that supposed to mean? Court will commence shortly. Please proceed to the courtroom. Let's go. Now's not the time to talk about that anyways. Nick. Okay, he's definitely not dead. Definitely. I choose to believe that, at least. June 21st, 10 a.m. Court is now in session for a trial of Maya Fey. At least the judge is still the same guy. Are the prosecution and the defense prepared? What is with this kid? That's Von Karma's successor, I'm guessing. Mr. Wright, are you prepared? Huh? Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Phoenix Wright. She acts just like him, the way she grips her arm. You see that? You must be a little shocked because I'm a woman, correct? That was not what I was worried about, but hold on, is she... So she's the famed successor to Prosecutor Von Karma. Franziska Von Karma, the prodigy. I see. I gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country for one sole reason. Revenge! Oh, she's got a whip. What? Revenge? Is this about her father, Manfred Von Karma? If it's something of a personal nature, I'm sure you can... Ow! I'm talking. She's just like him. If you interrupt again, my whip will do the speaking for me. Please speak with your mouth, not like a normal person, I beg of you. Make no mistake, I will defeat you. Prepare to go down, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Why did they allow her to have a whip in a court proceeding? Okay, so Prosecutor Von Karma, your opening statement, please. Those of Von Karma blood have only one fate, and that is perfection. The defendant Maya Fey will find no escape from her guilt on my watch. Very well. What is the defense's position? Your Honor, does the defense wish to enter a plea of not guilty? Yes. Foolish fool! Who foolishly dreams of foolish dreams? That's a lot of foolishness. Yes. 10 minutes. I give the defense 10 minutes before it changes its plea. That is right. I'll have you running from the justified self-defense plea in no time. I love that. I love that. Pose. A plea usually reserved for when a person unintentionally kills in defense of themselves. We could very easily make a solid case that it was self-defense, but... The defense stands by the plea of not guilty, Your Honor. Because to plead justified self-defense is saying you did kill someone. Oh, how foolish! If that's how you want to play it, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I shall now call the first witness. She's just as scary as her father. Like father, like daughter, I suppose. You're correct, Phoenix. She's also pretty. Oh, Gumshoe again. Hey there. Witness, your name and occupation. Yes, sir. My name is Dick Gumshoe. I'm detective at the local precinct. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Gumshoe. Yes! Get to the point already. Oh, I thought she was going to be mad that he called her sir. Explain to the court the details of this murder. Yes, sir. If everyone would please look at this map here. Ah. Did you draw this yourself, Gumshoe? The channeling chamber has no windows and the door was locked shut. At the time of the murder, only the victim and the defendant were in the room. What were they doing in there? They were, channeling a spirit, sir. Channeling a spirit? That's quite a look of disbelief there, Your Honor. Anyways, a few minutes after the channeling started, gunshots were heard coming from inside the room, sir. A few of the witnesses broke the door down and rushed into the room. And that's when they found the victim was already dead, correct? I believe this is one of the most open and shut cases I've ever presided over. Are you sure about that? Floor plan, thank you. So how was the victim killed? I was about to get to that. Stop wasting my time, then. Okay. Ooh, okay. Cause of death. The direct cause to death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. Shot was fired from point-blank range. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing. Wow. Okay. So the victim was stabbed before being shot. This is the victim's autopsy report, sir. After being stabbed in the chest, he was shot in the forehead point-blank range. Court accepts it into evidence. Mr. Wright, you may question the witness. Yes, thank you for letting me question. We need to press. Okay, direct cause of death with pistol shot to the forehead. Press. Murder weapon, Detective Gumshoe. Whose pistol was it? It was the victim's. The victim? Now, why would he have a pistol, exactly? Why would he have a pistol? Who cares? The point that you're missing is whose fingerprints are on the pistol. If you're not already paying attention to that, then I suggest you start. Fingerprints? There are fingerprints? Yes, I'm guessing. Along with the victims, the defendant Maya Faye's were also on the grip, sir. Well, that does not look good for Maya. Okay. So the defendant's fingerprints were left on the murder weapon. I walked right into her hands. Okay, shot was fired at point-blank range. Let's see what that means. Oh, I mean, not means. I know what point-blank range means. So how far away is that? Like, was it pressed up right against his forehead? Anywhere between 12 to 20 inches away. And how do you know he was shot at point-blank? Tisk, tisk. Oh my gosh. That pose there. Oh, that's wonderful. I love it. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Mr. Phoenix Wright. I grow tired of the foolish foolery of the foolish fools of this foolish country. Excuse me. Gunpowder burns. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Gunpowder exploding in what makes a bullet fire, and gets real hot, man. And there were definitely some gunpowder burns left on the victim's forehead. Okay. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. Okay. Stabbed? And what was he stabbed with? A fruit knife. I see. And whose knife was it? It looks like it belongs to the Faye's, sir. And of course, Maya Faye's fingerprints were all over it. All over it, This does not look good. Ha 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 ha. What will you do now, Mr. Phoenix Wright? I will continue to press. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. Okay. How severe? If it had been half an inch more to the right, it would have hit his victim's heart. After a stab like that, it's impossible to fight back, let alone stand. Okay. The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off. Are you sure he was stabbed first, then shot? Yep. Sure can be. One look at the wounds and you can come to the same conclusion, pal. A fool is a fool who will only listen to the foolish opinions of other foolish fools. A pistol shot to the forehead, a point blank is certainly enough to kill instantly. Does it matter then which was first? Think a little more before you open that big mouth of yours, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Grr, what a pain. That's enough. We have clearly established how the victim was murdered. I brought the two murder weapons before me today. Very well, the court accepts them into evidence. So 2 shots were fired, and it bears Maya and Gray's fingerprints. Murder weapon, a small fruit knife, belongs to the Faye's, bears Maya's fingerprints. So, okay. We do not know for sure if I know Gumshoe said the gunshot was last, the fruit knife was first, but what if, it was self-defense? What if it was self-defense? What if Maya or the ghost used the knife because he pulled the gun on them? Perhaps. Date and time of death was June 19th at 3:15 p.m. Eyewitnesses claim to have heard 2 gunshots at this time. 2 murder weapons, both were defendant's fingerprints on them. This does seem like a open and shut case. Quit bowing. Come on, you haven't won yet. Naturally. This is going from bad to worse. As if the summary just now wasn't oversimplifying things to the extreme. Your Honor, feel free to slam that little gavel of yours. After all, there is no room left for doubt, is there? That is quite true, Mr. Wright. Yes, even in the face of all this, do you wish to plead not guilty? It's the opinion of the court. If you do not adjust your plea, you stand to lose. See, just as I promised, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You would change your plea in less than 10 minutes. What will you do, Mr. Wright? Will you change to justify self-defense? Because now would be the time to do so. This is your final chance. Now you see, I feel like it is self-defense. But I'm pretty sure if we do that, we'll lose. So let's plead not guilty. Yeah, we'd be basically confessing to murder. Exactly. After the trial, Maya's life would be ruined and she'd be labeled a murderer. I can't let that happen. Your Honor, have you reached a conclusion, Mr. Wright? The defense will not change its plea. We will accept nothing short of complete acquittal. The whip. You have sealed your fate, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Detective. Yes, sir? Present the final portion of your testimony. The final strike. Yes, sir. Now, see here. Proceedings are run by... Oh! What? Yes, of course. Go ahead, detective. Give your testimony, yes. Judge, are you scared? I think the court would like to hear about the other piece of incriminating evidence. Sorry, pal, but there's a even more incriminating piece of evidence. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. Without a doubt. So this is the costume. There's certainly an evidence of a backspray of blood on this. The piece directly links Maya Fey to the crime, sir. Oh, don't feel so sad, Gumshoe. It's fine. I see. The court accepts this into the evidence. We have a ton of evidence now. Jeez. Alright, Mr. Wright. Maya's fingerprints on both murder weapons, blood splattered on her clothes. Court, could this situation get any worse? Ha! What's wrong? You seem to be at a loss. I think this is the last piece of testimony the prosecution should have to offer. Feel free to sulk off with your tail between your legs, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Please stop calling me by my full name. It's disturbing. Please. Okay. Why don't you say so in your earlier testimony? Exactly. You kind of scary today, pal, you know? Come now, Mr. Wright. There is no need for that kind of attitude in my court. Alright, just please stop glaring at me like that, please. Poor judge. This is the costume the defendant was wearing. Okay. Maya's costume. Yes. She was wearing this when we arrested her. Is she not allowed to wear anything else? As you can see, it's covered in blood. You're correct. It looks like blood, at least. This blood on the costume. Lab results show that it is the victim's blood. So there's blood from the victim on the defendant's clothes. Definitely not good. Exactly, Phoenix. So, were there any other clues that could gleam this piece of evidence? Well, what? If you must change the topic, then the good detective here must testify again. But too bad, not enough time. Let's move on. Yes, Miss Von Karma is perfectly correct. But if I bite off more than I can chew here, what should I do? Press further. Why is Miss Von Karma suddenly putting up a resistance? Exactly, there's something she doesn't want us to know. Have to look harder. Mr. Wright, Miss Von Karma's logic is perfect. There's no way for you to poke a hole in it. Looks like my time is up, so about the costume. I feel like there's got to be something wrong with it. There's one problem. Actually, there is something very wrong with this piece of evidence. What? What are you talking about, pal? Where is this problem you're talking about? There's no turning back now. Problem I have with this piece of evidence is here. The hole. The bullet hole. I asked the court to please take a look at the sleeve of this costume. Ah, a tiny hole here. Ah, a hole. That wasn't in the report. Hold on. What's this around the hole? It smells faintly of gunpowder. Gunpowder? No one ever told me. A hole that smells of gunpowder. Seems like a bullet hole, correct? Your Honor, the only logical conclusion can make is that this must be a bullet hole. So the victim shot at her. That's what I'm hearing. Order, order. It's best we correct the court record first before anything. Sorry about that. I guess we messed up, sir. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Why is she smiling? What else is she hiding? Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony. That just now was a fluke, nothing more. How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight. Yes, thank you. While I agree it is a mistake on the part of the police, what Prosecutor Von Karma has said is true, the evidence still stands. If you do not find a more definitive problem with the evidence, then... No way. Judge, you're turning against me? Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony. Yes, sir. Okay, the defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. He wasn't fighting back? How do you know if he was or wasn't exactly? We could find no evidence that the victim put up any sort of struggle, pal. Did the murderer have a fight with the victim or not? Depending on this, the circumstances around this murder changed drastically. If only I had something that proved the victim did fight back. Is it the gunshot? It's gotta be. She thinks she can decide the verdict with this testimony alone. Okay, so what if we present... Or could it be the gun? Because there's two shots fired. So one was into the guy's forehead. The other was fired into the costume. So let's present this and see. Objection! Detective Dick Gumshoe? Yes. Having your name called by my full name is kind of a weird feeling. You said that my client killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. Yeah, I did. What, may I ask, is the bullet hole you police overlooked supposed to mean? What does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means the victim had fired off a shot. Is this what it means to not fight back? Ah, you're right. Seems you are correct. If the victim had tried to shoot the defendant, then it would change everything. Ha! Why is she laughing still? Are you finished yet, Mr. Phoenix, Wright? Miss Von Karma? It seems that Maya Fey was shot at by the victim. However, that is only grounds to support a justified self-defense plea. That's correct. But I'm sure you remember, Your Honor, the defense clearly said they rejected the justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty. Oof. Oof. That's right. Yeah, which means the defense is yet to prove anything at all. Well, yeah, yes, that's true. Her and her bow. Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of justified self-defense. How so? The whip. Don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day. With the new information we acquired added in, of course. They're adding more now? Huh? You mean by myself? You wanted me to put together the scenario all by myself? Come on. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. What transpired? During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The defendant then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. So you're saying that Maya, like the Mr. Gray, shot at her after being stabbed, and then Maya picked up the gun and shot him. This scenario you have put together does make sense. Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wright, on the surface it does seem to make sense. However, I won't give up that easily. Please refrain from glaring at me like that, please, Mr. Wright. Now then, your cross-examination, please. Okay. Okay, so she stabbed him first. That's what you're saying there. There's a chance a difference in height between Dr. Gray and the defendant. Add to body strength, and it seems unlikely the defendant could have stabbed the victim. Now that you mention it, yeah, I guess, yeah. He was much bigger than Maya. You think you can get away with such a flimsy reasoning, Mr. Phoenix, right? Maya Fey was in the middle of channeling, was she not? When channeling with the Korean channeling technique, the medium physically changes. With a nurse's build, the defendant could have easily been a match for the doctor. How do you know about this? I don't believe it. She even studied up on the channeling technique. I know. That's surprising. She's a prodigy for sure. Like I said before, I am perfect. About what you were talking about. I didn't quite get it. Never mind. Let's continue with the testimony. Used the last of his strength to fight back. So he was stabbed, but the stab wound wouldn't kill him. But if you think about the blood loss, he was probably hurt pretty bad. How badly would you say he was hurt? Actually, I went to give blood the other day. Afterwards, I felt a little lightheaded and dizzy. I guess the damage was maybe 10 times the dizziness. 10 times. Sorry. While the two were fighting, the victim took out the gun. Okay. Where in the world did the pistol come from? It looks like the victim, Dr. Gray, had specifically brought it for the day. But why? Why? He got off the black market about 2 days before the murder. What? Why did Dr. Gray bring a handgun? Was he taking precautions against something? Victim took a shot, but they were too close. He missed. So you're saying that the bullet hole in this costume was made then? Sorry, pal, but yeah, that's what I think. The two of them were already fighting when a shot was fired. Okay. So then Maya picked up the gun and took the opening and ended it. Okay. Maya's never fired a gun before in her life. The victim had already taken off the safety. With the safety off, even an amateur like you could fire it. Just by pulling the trigger. Even me, I wonder. Now do you understand? Von Karma's logic is perfect. Gotta be a contradiction in there somewhere. Okay, so the victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. So let's present the clothing again. Okay, that sounds like it was right. Sounds like it's right. Missing the tiny hole on this costume will be the prosecution's undoing. What do you mean? This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point-blank range. If that was true, then there would be gunpowder burn on this costume. You're correct, Phoenix. You're correct. Gunpowder burn. This is what you testified earlier. When something is shot at point-blank range, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Oh! But there's not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume. So it had to be shot from more than 20 inches away. That's a very good point. And what exactly does this mean? It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other. I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? Thinking that anyone can explain anything away? Okay. Then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Let's see. In the middle of their fighting, the victim pushed the defendant away. And it was then, when they were separated, that he fired. How was that? No, no, no. As if that was even possible. According to the testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far away after that. Oh! Very well then. That's right. The defendant must have pushed the victim away after stabbing him. She must have put some distance between the doctor and herself. Then, while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There, that should satisfy even you. That does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright? I'll be careful. I can't afford to make a mistake here. Something doesn't make sense, I would say. I can't give her anything. There's one fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honor. Fatal? Flaw? Foolish! No. Very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation. There must be a piece of evidence. Ooh! The only other thing that has a bullet hole in it is this. So if we present this here, about 8 inches off the ground, this destroys your logic. What is that? A folding screen? I would like to point the court's attention to the hole in the folding screen. Ah! She's sweating. Looks like you already know what I'm talking about. Who, where, what, why? Mr. Wright, your explanation. Are they really that clueless? Come on. The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means when the shot was fired, Maya, I mean the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but is actually squatting low to the ground. Good point. Good point. Order? This changes everything. Please look at this diagram. Victim Dr. Gray was here when he fired the shot. The bullet hit this folding screen. It hit at this location about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in the area, this area. If it was 8 inches off the ground, she had to be over here, correct? Yeah, she was standing near the screen. Good. Wait a second. We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole, but how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much closer? That's impossible. Why? You of all people should know the answer to that, Miss Von Karma. If she were shot from somewhere closer, there would have been gunpowder burns present. However, there's nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of this costume. Oh. Curse you, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you! I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing a ways from the victim when she was shot. But do you think this has to change the defendant's situation? It changes everything. Everything. Honestly, Your Honor, it changes everything. The prosecution has claimed the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with a knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at the time? Squatting all the way by the folding screen. Hiding, it looks like. If Maya Fey was a real murderer, why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike? Upon further consideration, it does make very little sense. Yeah, I figured there would have had to be a reason. Figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job. Oof. That does hurt. Oh my. Alright, with this, the trial should be in the bag. She looks too good about herself. She looks too happy. Tisk, tisk, tisk. You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix Wright. To think there had been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now, I know why Papa had a tough time with you. You amuse me. and all the things to inherit. Why did it have to be the smarty smile? Exactly. Whatcha? Detective, how dare you damage my perfect logic? Huh? How is it all my fault? You can start by repairing your standing by first removing that three-strand goatee. Oh, and rest assured, my punishment will come later. Punishment? Well then, Your Honor, I think I've had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness. It's gotta be Lotta. Yeah, it's gotta be. Very well, court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we will hear from the next witness. Oh, to be continued. Okay. Well, that looks like the end of this episode. I have to say, I like Miss Von Karma. Franziska? She's pretty nice. I like her. She's just like her dad in the smarty way. The smarty smile and being perfection. Foolish fool. Oh, she's wonderful. She's wonderful. I have a feeling she'll probably get on my nerves eventually, but so far, no. So, yeah. So we learned that quite possibly... Well, actually, not quite possibly. We learned that Maya was over next to the folding curtain, and she was not anywhere near Gray to like actually be shot at. So he shot her from a distance. So we turned, kind of like she said there, we turned a like a case that was pretty open and shut to one that could possibly win, which I'm 100% sure we're gonna win, but. It is the way of finding like the information we need, the clues, investigating, and actually putting it all together. That's what we had to do. So anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. We'll continue on with the part 2-2 trial next time. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. So bye-bye.